he will deeply worry about losing you after doing this. In this video, you will discover what to do when you notice that he's starting to take you for granted so that you actually can continue to feel cherished and, of course, celebrated and supported by him the way you deserve. I'm Antia Boyd with Magnetize Your Man, and together with my husband Brody, we've been helping thousands of successful women all over the world for the last 20 years combined to get the right long-term relationship that they desire to have. Now let's go ahead and dive right in. The first thing that makes a man fear of losing you is see the world through his eyes. Now, I teach this particular to my women in the perspective triad in our program. And what it essentially says is like, get out of your own perspective and really see, how does he see you? In other words, how can you become the woman that you would want to date if you were him? The second thing that makes a man fear losing you is energy over strategy. You see so many women get caught up with the content versus the context. Hold on, what do I mean by that? This means that you can do the right thing with the wrong energy and you will get the wrong outcome. So you can send a text message that you may find on Instagram or on social media platforms, but if you still have the anxiety and the attachment and the energy of that, then guess what? You're not going to get the response that you desire to have. The next thing that makes a man fear losing you is get balance inside of yourself. What the heck do I mean by that? Now, we have different energies I call archetypes inside of ourselves. And what we're not aware of is that we're running on them unconsciously. Now, that makes you predictable, and sometimes that also makes him diminish attraction towards you. Well, how come? Well, think about it. If you just focus on work, I call this the warrioress, that's like less attractive than if you were to focus on, let's say, the inner girl, or like that joyful part inside of yourself, that playful part inside of yourself, that spontaneous part inside of yourself that causes state changes inside of a man. So what I'm saying here is, wherever you are out of balance, bring yourself back into balance. The next thing that makes a man fear losing you is simply become unpredictable. Easier said than done. Here's one thing you can do. Face your fears. You see, he may know what your fears are, so he can predict how you're going to respond, or what emotional risks you're going to take, or what you're going to express, or what you're not going to express. So if you face your fears, let's say your fears to not be liked or to feel unworthy, and what that means to you is actually finally expressing what you desire, or finally saying no and setting a boundary without guilt, that will for sure surprise him and re-attract him to you, even though out of curiosity alone. The next thing that makes men fear losing you is start keeping agreements to yourself. Now, I personally call this maintaining your queen integrity. What happens is, when you say what you do and what you think is in alignment, you have integrity. And integrity is a magnet, because a man will not only like you, but he will also respect you. Because maybe he lost respect for you because you wanted to please him, and therefore you were not setting the boundaries. However, now you don't care anymore if he likes you or not, because you being true to yourself is more important to you. The next thing that makes a man fear losing you is do breathwork. Yes, as simple as look, when you breathe, you can't feel anxious and breathe at the same time, at least not that deeply breathe. Now, what that does is it takes your nervous system out of an anxious, sympathetic state to an actually trusting and spacious and relaxed parasympathetic state. And what that does, of course, is it makes your man trust you more. He's more attracted to you because he knows that you come from a place of love versus fear. And then he also knows that he doesn't have to like necessarily save you or rescue you or go down this rabbit hole that he doesn't know how deep it goes. The next thing that makes a man fear losing you is let the hope die. So many women that come to me, they actually loop in old childhood traumas and they hope that the man is going to change because, after all, their parents never changed. What do I mean by that? Maybe they had an alcoholic parent, or maybe they had an emotionally unavailable parent. So they thought, if I'm just like turning myself more into a pretzel, then my dad will finally love me. Or if I'm just more patient and I just give more space, then my alcoholic mom will finally love me and be consistent in her emotional expression. Of course, nothing could be further from the truth. And then what the traumatic response is to project that onto your partner. Now, this is the worst thing you can do because you just keep attracting that same kind of archetype that your mom or your dad was. So if you want to attract a new response from your man into your life, let that hope die that he will turn around. The next thing that makes a man fear losing you is go on your own adventures. Now, so many men are so used to that women rely on them making plans and creating like a codependent relationship. However, if you go on your own adventures with your girlfriends, or maybe with a family member, or maybe with someone from work, or even by yourself, then you show you're capable of a interdependent relationship. And because of that, he will find more joy to come up with new ideas because he knows that you don't need to be rescued by him, but you can stand on your own 2 feet and you choose him. The next thing that makes a man fear losing you is remember that God is in control. Now, I call this the macro perspective over the micro perspective. The micro perspective is that part of your life where you can get caught up in details and in so much fear he hasn't texted you back within a 5-minute time frame, or maybe didn't put a smiley face right behind a text message or a question or whatever the case may be. And the macro perspective is really saying, what is the bigger picture here? Of course, the bigger picture being God. God is already working in your favor. God is already in the driver's seat. He already has a plan for your life. So when you learn to actually lean back into that, again, you become a little mysterious because you also don't know what's going to happen next. And so therefore, your man is going to be even more attracted to you because he knows that you're trusting something else, something bigger, and he wants to learn more about what that is. The last thing that makes a man fear losing you is use the I trust affirmation. When I was single, I was attracted to this guy that I met online, oh boy, and who lived thousands of miles away in a different state. And of course, like I always talk about in my videos, when he started to shift the dynamic and he didn't respond the way I thought he should, I actually fell into a high level of anxiety, a period of that. And what I decided one day was, wait a minute, what I don't have is trust. So I took a piece of paper, as a matter of fact, I don't know how many, and I just kept writing, I trust, I trust. As a matter of fact, I wrote it 139 times also into my journal as well. What did I do? It helped me to transform my anxious relationship to him responding or not responding, and me feeling actually much more at peace and at comfort. So you see, when you stop holding on for so long to how the man needs to respond and you almost like suffocate the situation, but instead you give it space through many different tools, he becomes re-attracted to you and he may not even know why. Next, if you haven't yet, take my free love quiz and virtual coaching session to get the loving, long-term, and committed relationship you desire without feeling any more lonely, frustrated, and wasting any more time with emotionally unavailable men by simply hopping over to getlovequiz.com or simply click the link in the description or in the comment section right below. I hope this was helpful for you. Lots of love, and I will talk to you soon.